I'm here with Phil from Marree Hotel. Now, Marree is one of those places that I think has so much history, and it's really been kind of a bustling little town for quite some time, hasn't it?
True.
Tell me a little bit about what brought you to Marree.
Oh, I guess we've, over the last few years, developed a bit of an interest in the outback between my wife Marree and myself. We're running aeroplanes throughout the region for a while, doing flights between Birdsville and Port Augusta, and a lot out of, obviously all over Lake Eyre and the whole South Australian outback region. And yeah, we added a pub to the plane business. Yeah, just sort of worked, and it's sort of lined up well.
If you can add a pub to any business, I think you're doing well, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Now, Tom Cruise, just for a moment, let's talk about the fact that Tom Cruise used to do the track that we're going to pretty much start from here. For me, I'm, completely blown away by the history of that. Now, you've got so much information around here about him as well. What's your thoughts on what we're about to embark on?
Well, number one, I'm jealous. I wish I was going.
Yeah.
But been told by my wife I've got to stay.
I don't have one of those sorts of things.
Yeah, that's right. Look, I think the truck that you're setting out in, it's going to be, I think it's set up really well. But yeah, you're going to have your challenges along the way. Of course, when things break down and go wrong out there, you're a long way from anywhere, as you guys know. So you're lucky you got a couple of mechanics with you, whereas Tom was that intuitive sort of bloke who was able to fix things as he went along. He obviously carried his selection of parts and bits and pieces, but inevitably it's going to be something that you never expected. That's what's going to fly to bits, and you got to have the know-how to get it back together and fix it. And I think they said in the whole time he did the run, he never missed a run. So it was back in 1936 when he started to drive for Harry Ding, who had the mail contract then. And he drove right up till 1951. He owned the contract himself from 1947 up to about 51 when he sort of stopped doing the run regularly. So his most famous vehicle was the old Leyland Badger, so that he had modified himself to make into basically a six-wheel drive unit. So pretty cluey there. And I guess you look at those vehicles, I mean, they were a mix and match from what was around at the time. Keep those vehicles going, and yeah, just pretty amazing. He would have different trucks, blitzes, whatever, at different times when the waters around and the creeks were up, the Cooper and that, and then he'd have them placed in different areas, so it'd be a boat, unload everything onto a boat and across the river.
Cooper, yeah.
Yep, across onto the next truck, onto the next one, and just the work that they had to do back then. And round trip back then, we can up and down to Birdsville in a day, no worries. Well, maybe not up and down, we can go one way pretty comfortably. But he was a 10-day round trip, 7 to 10.
If things were good.
7 to 10-day round trip if things were good, and if they weren't so good, you'd drag out a bit. So yeah, different times, different vehicles, but certainly, yeah, similar to what you're heading off in, it's going to be a good challenge for you.